So let's take a look at our agenda for this session. In the first 3 minutes, we'll cover overviews of the Power Platform and more specifically Power Pages. Then we'll spend about 20 minutes building a simple website and showing how your users can interact with the Power Apps database. And in the last 2 minutes, we'll invite you to ask any questions you may have. Now, if we do run out of time, then you can ask it in the chat and we'll get back to you. All right, so let's look at our overview on the Microsoft Power Platform, which is a low-code platform for rapidly building customized end-to-end business solutions. It consists of 4 product areas, Power Apps being the first. Power Apps enables seamless sharing among internal users and can be accessed via browser or mobile devices. Since it's low-code to no-code, the applications empower both your business users and your advanced developers to rapidly create value-driven solutions. It also significantly reduces development time compared to traditional methods. Next, we have Power Automate, which facilitates the automation of manual tasks, minimizing human errors and streamlining repetitive processes. And we learned earlier today that Power Automate has hundreds of data connectors, and it allows applications to seamlessly interact and integrate with multiple data sources. Power BI is Microsoft's business analytics solution that most of you would be familiar with that delivers interactive data visualization tools. These tools enable you to effectively visualize and share insights across your organization. And this session is all about Power Pages, which is a low-code platform for creating secure websites that enable your users to manage data while ensuring database protection. It also allows external users to sign in with various identities. It even permits anonymous browsing. Your low-code creators can quickly design, configure, and sync responsive websites that function seamlessly across all devices and browsers, while your professional developers can enhance these capabilities to meet advanced business needs. Now, you can use these individually or all together. Let's get into our Power Pages, what, when, and why. So Power Pages is a secure, low-code software as a service platform that enables the creation, hosting, administration of modern external-facing websites. And we should use Power Pages if we want to create an external-facing website for authorized or even anonymous users to visit. And also if we want to be able to integrate with other Microsoft technologies. So for instance, you might want to embed a Power BI report into your website. Why use Power Pages? So for all the app makers, and I'm pretty sure we have a lot in this chat, this is a faster development life cycle. It can be built in days as opposed to months, and it's simple to maintain since it's low code. Organizations can increase customer, partner, and employee engagement and satisfaction and improve business outcomes by way of 24/7 interactions and more informed business decision making. It can interact with other Microsoft solutions like Power BI or SharePoint, and you can design an interactive and engaging interface with the look and feel of your branding, which is accessible from any device, be it smartphones, tablets, desktops. So today I want to do a technical walkthrough with you. We're going to build a simple Power Page. Firstly, we'll create the website. Then we'll update some text and upload images to the website. I'll show you how to customize the navigation. And then we'll add a list of records directly from the Dataverse, which is the Power Apps database for your website users to view. And then we want to add a form to accept feedback from your website users and put that feedback into the Dataverse. All right, so let's get into it. So what you'll see coming up here is a model-driven Power App that we created. It's for a diving school, and you can see up on the screen a list of courses being offered by that diving school, sorry. And the rows here represent, well, it just shows you that you have 16 courses available. Then if I click on the feedback tab on the left, this is where the feedback will be stored when I accept that from my website user. So let's get into creating our website. We'll have to go to make.powerpages.microsoft.com. And you can do this in one of two ways. You can start with a template. So they have pre-made templates for you to choose from, or you can start from blank. For this demo, I'll be starting from blank. So I'll click on that. And while that loads, I just want to draw your attention to my homepage again. I do have a website created from blank here called Marine Mastery Academy. I created this in just the same way I'm about to do this website here. So I'm going to call this Diving School. So I gave my website a name, created a web address, and once that address is verified, I'll click on the Done button, and this tells me that my site is being set up. And it takes some time. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes. At the end of that time, I'll be sent an email letting me know that the site was successfully created. But for the purpose of this demo, we'll be using this Marine Mastery Academy app. So I can go ahead and click on Edit, and it'll open my app in the designer mode. So this is what it looks like. There's a sync button top right. When I make changes to my website, I have to say sync for it to sync all my changes to the actual website. My preview button, if I click on that, you'll be able to see a desktop preview or a mobile preview. So this can be scanned, and this will take you directly to the website for you to see the changes that we make. Now, on this site, it's pretty empty, so it's loading because I clicked on preview. It's pretty empty right now. Our main navigation contains a home page, which is not really set up to look like anything. You'll see our navigation top right, there's just the home page here. And there are other pages that can be used here, which we'll not be using today. So let's go ahead and edit this site header. I'll call this Marine Mastery Academy. And I'll upload an image as my logo. Now I do have some images uploaded here, but if you were to upload another image, you can click on upload and select one from your files. I'll select this logo and say OK. I can go to styling at this point. Here you can see brand colors. If I hit edit on one of these, it will allow me to change one of the brand colors. But I'll leave as is for now because I'll show you how to attach a theme to your website. So I'll click on header background, which will allow me to choose one of the brand colors, and I'll choose a white. And you can see as I make these changes, you're seeing it reflected on the designer, on the preview on the designer. So now we go to fonts. I can change the title, font, or the site navigation. So I have my title here, and this is my navigation on the right. But I will leave this as is for now and show you how we can do that in the theme section. So now I want to add some text to my home page. But before I do that, let me just show you something since everybody is showing something on Copilot today. I didn't want to be left out. So you can come in here and tell Copilot. So there's the Copilot icon top right. Once you click on that, it expands this area. So I'll say add the text, come dive with us to the section on the home page. So it tells me that it's working on it. And what I expect Copilot to do is add a section with that text in it. And maybe my prompt was too off for it, but at this point I can either review the section or keep it as is. So in this case, I don't want to keep that section because we're going to build it on our own. So I'll just delete that and minimize Copilot and come back here. So let's go ahead and add our own text to this. I can click on one of these components here to add components to this section that is highlighted when I hover. So I'm going to click on text, and the text that I want is come dive with us. And if I drop down on paragraph, I'd like that to be small text. And right now, small text is in white, the configuration for that. So we'll change that in our theme. And I'll click on edit background to show you how to upload a background image. Then image, add an image. And here I can also upload an image that I want, but I do have some uploaded here. So let's select one of these and say okay. So you can see I have a background image, but it doesn't look the best. So let's fix the layout of it by making it a bit bigger in height. So there, now we can see our turtle friend. All right, so let's go to styling to adjust the theme for this website. So you see we have a lot of themes available here. So you can click on which one you'd like. You can also upload your own theme or customize one that's existing here. So I like the look of this dark blue theme. So I'll click on that, drop down on title now. Let's change the font for this title. So I'm going to change the font, maybe make the weight bold and size, make it a bit bigger. Great. Then let's do the same for navigation. So I'm going to make this bold and increase the size of it. And we have some small text here, which would be on our screen. So we'll say, we'll change it to the same font, make it bold and make it bigger. And for this small text, let's make this white. Great. So once we're done setting up our theme, I'll hit save. And this will take a few seconds to save our theme to this website. And once that is done, we'll go back to our pages. So we set up our home page on the main navigation. If I go to my website now, this was my blank website before we made changes, and I refresh this, I should be able to see my home page showing up. And now let me show you how to add additional pages to your navigation. So we need a page for courses, as I stated previously. This is to show the list of courses in the database. You can select a standard layout or you can upload your own custom layout, but for this demonstration, I'll be starting from blank. So let me go ahead and say add. And you'll notice courses shows up top right of the screen. It's part of my navigation now. We also need a page for feedback. I'm going to start from blank as well and add that. And my feedback would also show up here. Notice that it shows up in your main navigation on the left, as well as your navigation on the top. And it opens the page for you to edit it. So let's edit our courses page. Let's first give it some text. So we want to say that this is available courses. And change the text to small text, which we set up already. And then I do want another section for my list of courses. And I feel like this is a lot of space for this padding. So I can click on this section and reduce that. So let's fix the margin as well as the padding and say okay. So this is much better. Now let's add a section for the list of courses. So I click on add a section. You can add any one of these as a section. I will say one column. and it gives me the option to add a component again. The component I'm looking to add here is a list. So I'm going to click on list and choose my table from the database that this list would be coming from. Okay. So I'm going to say courses. And this is my table here. So I'll select that. And then I'll select the data view, active courses. So let me just jump back to our Power App. You'll notice that the name of our view is active courses. So this is why I'm choosing that. This is what we want to see or show to our users rather. And under actions, these are the list of actions that your users can apply to a list. So we can allow them to create a new record or download the list contents, view or edit or delete records. But in this website, they're anonymous users, so I just want them to be able to look at the list of records. Here in more options, we see the number of records going to be displayed per page is 10, but we do have 16 courses. So let's make this a bit bigger so we don't have to let the users go to another page to view it. And I'm going to enable searching in this list so that they can search for a specific course. And I'll say done. So my list will be added to this. And now it's telling me to set the permissions for that table. So I'll go to new permissions here, top right. And you'll notice that we do have the permission to read, which we set up just now. Now we have to add roles to this. So out of the box, we have 3 possible roles. For today, we're not using administrators or allowing people to authenticate. So I'm just going to say anonymous users. This role would be added, and I can then say save to save the permissions to my courses table. So there, my courses table should be ready to view, but we can view that after we set up our feedback form. So on this website, the last thing we want to add is a form. So I'm going to click on form. First we need to add some text to head this page. So let's go ahead and add our feedback text and make this small text, which we set up already. And let's do the same for this section here. Reduce the margin and the padding so that we can see the second section more clearly. And add a new section now to hold that feedback form. So I'm going to add a 1-column section again. And then the component that I would want on this section is a form. So I'm clicking on form here and I'm adding a new form. So first thing I have to do is choose a table. My table is feedback form, I believe. Okay, there it is. And the form that I'll be selecting, these forms were previously set up in my Power App. So I'm using a form that was set up by our Power App admin on that side. So I'm going to click on Portal Main Form. And if I go to Data, you'll notice that I can choose from a list here to allow my user to create a record, update an existing record, or just read the record. In this case, we're accepting feedback from that user and we're creating feedback records in the database. So I'm going to leave create a new record. On submit, I'd like to display a message and it'll be a success message. So I'm going to leave whatever the success message is right here. And I'm going to leave selected hide form when submitted. So our form would be completely hidden when our success message comes up. Since we're just working with anonymous users, I'll remove capture for that. You have the option of enabling attachments, but we wouldn't be doing that today. And you can leave AI form fill assistance if you need to, but I'll take it off and say OK. And just like with our courses table, you need to allow permissions, add permissions for the feedback table. So we did say that the users will be creating a record here. So I'll leave that as checked and I'll add the anonymous users role and hit save on that. Great. So our website is set up, and now we can go to the front end and hit refresh, and you should see all our pages showing up. So we saw the home page already. If I go to courses, I should be able to see my 16 courses from the Dataverse. So I choose right here. I can use the wildcard character, which is an asterisk, to search for Freedive. And it'll show me all with the Freedive in the name. And if I go to feedback, it should pull up my feedback form that I selected, which was our portal main form, and allow us to ask a question. So let's go ahead and say medical info and ask what is required here and submit that. It would then hide our form and give us a success message. And if I go to the Dataverse or this Power App here and click on feedback, I'll see I have created on at 12:12 my time this medical info feedback asking what is required here. So your internal users will get this update real time, considering that both Power Apps and the Power Page or website will be using the exact same database. All right, just a few things to draw your attention to before we navigate away from this Power Pages designer. If I go to data, you can see the tables in this site. We added 2 tables, courses and feedback. If I click on either one of them, I have the option to add a new row. I can add a new column. If I go to views, I can select any one of these views from the Dataverse, or I can add a new one. Same for forms. So we didn't add any forms for course, but we can add this information form which is available, or add a new form. I can also add additional tables from our Dataverse. And lastly, I just want to draw your attention to the security section. We did set up some table permissions. So if I click on that, it shows me table permissions across our sites. So you'll see course, feedback. These are the 2 tables that I added in this site. And we have read access. We allowed users read access to the course and create access to the feedback. And our rules, we just use an anonymous users rule. Now, when you're ready to go to production, you'll have to set this from private. So right now I'm in designer, so I am in a private mode. You have to select public, but this is when you're ready to go to production to allow your users to see it on their end. All right, so let's get back into our presentation.